We're your hosts. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Amanda.
And we are your source for information, entertainment, and community.
Today we are going to talk to you about our municipal elections that are coming up because early voting starts Thursday.
Yes.
So we just kind of wanted to go over, as you go out to vote, what to look for in candidates, instead of just reading things about reaching out to candidates, who all is running, and just kind of where you can go to find information on those people.
Yeah, and just overall the importance of municipal elections, right?
Yeah.
We all, every 4 years we have a presidential election, and, people talk about the importance of down ballot voting. But, in our off years, this is important because these are the people who are making the day-to-day decisions that affect your life the most.
Yes.
Right, city council and town council really talk about, what your roadways are going to look like, what affects you, downtown development,
Small businesses, taxes, law enforcement, all of their, water, sewer, all of your daily life is affected by who gets put into office after these elections.
Right.
And it's kind of, for me, it's a little disheartening. Not that many show up to these elections. The last time, 2 years ago, only like 8.5% of all of people in the municipality showed up to vote. So that is not a lot. This is your chance for your voice to be heard.
Right. And remember, the people who are going to city council end up usually moving up to higher levels of office, to commissioners, to state, to, even congressional office. So who you put in local office today will be a bigger leader down the road.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen signs going up.
Yeah.
So I encourage everybody, if you see a sign, even if it's a name that you recognize and you think, things have been going good, what's the point? Reach out to them, talk to them, because that kind of gives you a true sense of who that person is and what they, stand for. You can pull up their voting history, see how they themselves have voted in the past.
Put their name into Google, see if there's anything that they have done that's of note that, aligns with what you believe, and reach out to them. I know we think sometimes that we can't talk to these people, but these people want to know your input. Go to their websites. They have email addresses. Get their phone numbers. A lot of them will give you their cell phone numbers to reach out to, and just have a 5-minute conversation with them of, hey, what are you doing, or what are your plans, and how do you see that helping our city grow?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a firm believer going to research the person and then, talk to them, have some questions prepared, and not just, a lot of people, they ask the big questions, the big social issues that we see a lot, from the White House and, on the news, but a lot of those big social issues don't affect us here locally. So, ask them what they think, if the police departments are well funded, if your tax bill with development, or a lot of
planning and zoning is not a real sexy issue,
but it affects everybody.
So,
when you see neighborhoods going up left and right, or not to knock Dollar Generals, but there's just a lot of them. So it's kind of talk to planning and zoning. Be like, what are your thoughts for the area that I live in? That's a good one.
Yeah.
So boring topic, but it is very important because
Yes.
it affects how many people come in to go to your kids' schools.
Yeah.
All those sort of things. So definitely reach out and talk to them. Let's see, this year we have, I pulled up the different towns so you kind of know who all is running. Let's see.
So if you're looking for where to find a sample ballot or who is running in your area, you can go to the North Carolina Board of Elections. So that is, and you type in your address and they will be able to provide you a sample ballot. That's nscbe.gov. We'll put the link below, and you can just pull up that sample ballot.
Yeah, and for this election, it is nonpartisan.
Yep.
So, there's no primary or anything like that. You just go in November 7th, you vote, and you're done. So, for, let's see, the city of Concord, So if you live in the city, you get to vote for all the districts, correct?
Yep. So each council member has a district in which they represent. So they're like the main point person. They have to live in that district. However, everybody who's in the city limits gets to vote on every single person within the city council, which is great because that means you get a chance to talk about multiple people who represent you. So just because that person votes as assigned to your district, they make decisions for the city as a whole. So you want to make sure you're doing research on every council member.
Yeah. So we have, for the City of Concord, District 1, there's Andy Langford and Tyler Norris.
And Andy Langford is the incumbent that's running in that seat.
Correct. And then Concord District 2, you have Jack Lambert, Brian King, and Lori Clay. And Brian King's the incumbent.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't live in the City of Concord, so that's why I'm just making
I
sure. Let's see. District 6, Jennifer Parsley, and she's running unopposed. And District 7, John Sweat, and he is running unopposed.
Yep.
So then Harrisburg has several people running. So Harrisburg's not broken up into districts. It's just if you live in the city of Harrisburg. So
It's all at large seats.
Yep. So Crystal Anderson, Rodney Dellinger, who's an incumbent, Wendell Font, Chris Ball, Latricia Glover, Justin Hagler, Ian Patrick, who's an incumbent, Ron Smith, who's an incumbent, and Robin Torrance.
And they can choose up to 4 in that election. So you can pick your favorite, but you can pick up to 4. And it is important to vote. If you have 4 chances to vote, really make sure you use all those. That's why research every candidate. Even if you may have your favorite person, really look at all of them.
Yep. And again, I feel like sometimes people think, oh, well, they've run before and they've won a couple times, so they must be doing something right. But go back, you can watch a lot of the town council meetings are recorded. So you can go back and watch and just you have time to do some research and reach out to the new folks running and just, kind of get a feel for them because, sometimes change could be coming up ahead that you may not know about and somebody may have different views that the current city council hasn't thought about. So it's good to...
And I think something else is important to note too. Sometimes your business is located not where you live, right? If you're a business owner and your business is located, let's say, in Harrisburg and you live in Kannapolis, look who's running in Harrisburg because that person is making decisions that affect your business. And if people are coming in and you have your candidates, that's a good way to support a candidate too, is say, hey, my business supports this individual because they're making good decisions for me as a business owner.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Even, I can't vote in the city of Concord since I live in the county. However, I've researched candidates and I still promote the ones that I like because I know people that live in that area. And with Cabarrus County, we do things in Concord, we do things in Harrisburg, so that still affects our life. So
I think that's a good point too. Let's say if you're not a politically active person, but you have friends like us who are politically active, they know who these people are and they've worked with them probably quite often and will have a favorite. So it's a good place to start too, just to ask your friends who are politically involved, hey, what does this person stand for? Should I look at, should I vote for them? Because most likely your politically active friends will know, have similar beliefs to you and what they think your values will be.
yeah, exactly. All right, so the city of Kannapolis, there is Ryan Dabolt. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Okay. Daryl Jackson, Tom Kincaid, Holden Saz, Milton Smith, and Janae Williams.
Yep.
And you get to pick 3 for Kannapolis. And I am sorry, but I do not know exactly who all the incumbents are for them.
Apparently we need to go spend more time in Kannapolis.
Yes, I think so. Let's see. Midland, there's Alan Burnett and Darren Hartzell, and those are the only 2 running, and you get to pick 2, and they are both incumbents. Let's see. And then Mount Pleasant this year has their mayor is up, so Del Udi, who's the incumbent, and Tony Lapish. And then for their Mount Pleasant commissioners, you have Stephen Dixon and Justin Simpson both running, and you get to pick 2, and there's only 2 running. So you can, when you get on there, you can pull up, when you get on the Board of Elections website, you can pull up your sample ballot, you can see your precinct, where you go to vote, but also you can print it out, so you can kind of go down the list, and when you go meet with each of them, you can jot some notes on there, you can kind of start researching and looking them up. I'm a firm believer that an informed voter is the best voter.
Right. And a lot of these are nonpartisan races. So if you're somebody who goes to the polls and be like looking for an R or a D next to a name, you're not going to get that in these elections, right? So that's why doing that research beforehand is really important, because then if you're relying on that, you're not going to have that information. So to know that beforehand, have that sample ballot, have those notes that you've made with your research.
Yeah, because I believe some of the candidates for some of the town councils they're registered unaffiliated, and they do that for the fact that it is a nonpartisan race. And it's bad, but a lot of people automatically, when they see a D or an R next to a candidate's name, they automatically assume how they believe and how they will vote. And so in these races, it's good to just
and there's
kind of
nothing wrong with that. I just want to make sure like that. I think it's good because that's why you have party affiliation, is that you share a similar set of beliefs with those people. However, that's just not how every election is.
Exactly. So it's just good to go out there and just talk to them and ask the hard questions that affect your daily life before you go out there.
Right.
I just would like to push that more people need to get out and vote in these elections.
This is our plea. Please vote. It is so important because 8% is such a small population, and those people are a voice for you.
Yes.
So if you're not using your voice to engage in our electoral process, you are losing the opportunity to have your voice heard in the manner you want it heard.
I agree. And let's see, do you know all the dates for early voting?
So early voting starts this Thursday, which is the 19th for Cabarrus County for the towns around. So just the cities and just municipals, so that's towns and cities. And that runs Thursday to Friday, the following week Monday to Friday, and then the following week, I believe, Monday to Saturday. And then Tuesday, November 7th is Election Day. You can do so. Early voting will be at the Board of Elections. That's off of Peachtree and Church Street. And that opens at 6:30 in the morning till I believe 7 at night. Times again will be on the Board of Elections website, and as well as locations. And then day of, you will have to find your voting location. Right, so the Board of Elections won't be doing the election that day. You'll have to go to your precinct, and you can find that when you look up your voter registration, which we'll link below if you want to look up to make sure you're registered to vote. It will show you your voter location. Those do change often, so even if you have your voter card, you will want to look that up because it may have changed.
And I believe the Board of Elections can also help you with absentee ballots or mail-in ballots.
Yep.
If you are, if you may get sick or you're disabled, anything like that, and you can't get out, then you are able to do the mail-in ballots.
Yep. And if you have elderly people who can't get out of the car, they do drive-up voting. So if you go to the Board of Elections, drive up, somebody will be looking for that, or just wave somebody down. They'll have somebody come to your car to be able to help fill that out. And then also important change this year, voter ID is in effect. Right, so come with your driver's license or your ID card. If you do not have one, you can vote on a provisional ballot. What that means is that you will be able to cast your vote that day, but you'll have to go through a verification process. So just be safe, bring your ID with you for when you cast your vote.
Yeah, so I think that's it. Just the importance of use your voice. These elections do count. People forget about them. There's no school that day, so use your voice and put in the people that you think will fit you best.
Yeah, and final note, if you do have a candidate that you really like and that you support, you can ask how you can help them out, because they're always looking for assistance, whether that's making phone calls. It doesn't always have to be a donation, but those don't hurt, or by actually working as a poll worker that day of handing out information.
Putting signs up at the polls the day of, anything like that. So reach out to them, see how you can help, reach out, ask questions, and get out there and vote.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Election Day, November 7th.